So, there's talks about trades as well. Like, I always think, the Freddie Peralta thing to me is awesome, right? And I say that, and I know that the naysayers are like, well, it's a 1-year thing. It's like, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
You
right?
give up less.
Yeah, you give up less. It's an $8 million contract, so that's ridiculously low for this guy. And Willie Adames is his best buddy. He's probably going to like pitching here. I mean, the crowds are good. So there's a lot to like if he were to come here. And then you got a shot. Maybe you can extend him, right? But if you don't, give him a qualifying offer. Take the draft picks and let him go. That's the guy. But I don't know if they have enough. I guess they probably do have enough, but how far do you want to go, right? To put together a package for somebody like him. But he just seems like the best guy to get that you could get, right? I mean, Hunter Green would be great to get. Well, you're not going to get him, right? But this guy just seems
you'd have to trade Bryce Eldridge to get Hunter Green.
To start with, right? Yeah. But I've been thinking a lot about Peralta, and that just seems like, because he's a number 1 or a number 2.
Absolutely. And they could put together a nice package for him that doesn't include Eldridge. Obviously, you're not trading Eldridge for 1 year of a guy, but certainly they've got some talent and some pretty good young pitching too in the lower level. Like they seem to really match up. I think that especially now with Zach Manassian and honestly with Buster, I think the Brewers and the Giants are a little simpatico in the way they think about players and the way they do things. So I could really see that. I think they're going to be sort of either a frequent trade partner or never a trade partner because they like all of the same guys.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. But I don't know, the more I think about that guy, it just seems to kind of fit. And there's not some, I'm not a big fan of the 6-7 year deals for starting pitchers either. And we're going to see some, they're going to start to come here soon. And, I don't think Buster's a big fan of those either. Sometimes you probably have to do it, but I just don't get the feeling he and Zach and his people are big fans of doling out those kind of contracts for pitchers.
I agree. And I also feel the same way. Now, look, I am very much like, hey, pay the players. I don't want, I'd rather have the money going to the players than the owners. But in this case, from a practical standpoint, there's, of course, the injury risk. But what I do like is what the Giants have done. I like extending your own guys. Like if it's a Logan Webb, extend them. I like what you're saying. If you've got Freddie Peralta, if you've acquired him, extend him. I hope maybe they talk to Robbie Ray about doing something a little bit beyond.
I thought about that.
That Robbie Ray, like as much as the fan base really kind of turned on the former administration, that Robbie Ray deal was really, really wise by Farhan's idea. Really, a top-notch deal because he is that guy is sensational. So maybe look for deals like that. Guys coming off a down year or injured. Obviously, they've done that a little bit with Foley, but maybe with a starter. So. Again, they're considering everything. I mean, first of all, that front office now is enormous. I wonder how they're breaking everything down.
Well,
they're considering everything, but they've got the brains to do it.
Yeah. So, all right. So what about this second base thing? Because, I'm a little torn. Like Casey Schmidt, you watch him, you see the improvement, and there was significant improvement last year. I thought he looked like a much better ball player all around. I'm still not sure where he's going to end up as far as, is he going to be an average player? And I'm talking about an everyday player, or is he going to be an above average everyday player? I don't think we know that yet. And that's, the Giants' job to try to decide, we think he's going to be an above average player. But it sounds like second base is an area that they're looking to improve. How serious are these rumors? The Donovan guy, it's hard not to like him in St. Louis. I think he'd be a tremendous fit. I'm not buying the Marte thing. I don't know how much truth there is to that. What can you tell us? You got a look on your face, Susan, like you know something. What can you tell us?
I've been asking around. Like, look, I don't think this is their priority. I think that they are this is one position where if they wanted to, and if maybe say they go all defense for an outfielder, with maybe, not quite as big a bat, which I don't think is what they should do. I think they should go all in on the best available defensive outfielder who can hit, which for my money is Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
If they go, what they have to do is get a good defensive outfielder, bat or no. If they don't get a really top-notch bat, then I think maybe you look at second base as a place where you add another bat. And Casey Schmidt could become a very good utility player. My goodness, he's a really good defensive player. He even looked nice at first base when they had him at first. But the guy can field. And he brings a lot of energy to the clubhouse. Sure. Glenn, he's kind of a sweet goofball. Everyone loves him. I'm a big fan. Like, the media loves him. I think he certainly could be a better than average major league player. He would need to play most of the time to do that, to get a real feel, and for anybody to really know. So I don't know if that happens, if he gets that chance this year. But for his sake, I do think he's got it in him. I would kind of like to see that. And I would rather have them. They absolutely have to get some offense and really some defense in the outfield.
Yeah. So let's talk more about the outfield, because it's been intriguing to me since the end of the season. And I have said all along, Susan, they need to make changes out there. Now, personnel changes or position changes, right? Like I think Jung-Hoo Lee would be a good right fielder in that ballpark. The Ramos thing has been well chronicled. I wouldn't mind seeing them run, Gilbert and Weimer in center field. But I think they're going to give Lee a shot in center to show some improvement. What do you see happening in this outfield? And I mean, is like a Bellinger thing? Yeah, he'd be great, right? I mean, or Tucker, but I don't know about Tucker being realistic. But
trade for a Luis Robert who's probably primed for a good bounce back year, like somebody like that.
Yeah,
but Jung-Hoo Lee, and I really do believe that Jung-Hoo Lee can and will be a good big league player. Yeah. I think he profiles as a good leadoff hitter. I think he will steal more bases. He's still learning, but it's not just that he wasn't very good in center field. He was really. I was looking last year at one point at their overall outfield analytics, and they were so poor. I thought, whoa, this can't all just be Elliott. And no offense to Elliott, I had a long talk with Elliott at the very end of the season, and he said he really his focus was bad out there. He doesn't know why he took a big step back. He knows he's working on it. He's probably working on it right now. Yeah. I think he will be back to the better fielder that he was 2 years ago. But when I looked at their overall and then looked at Jung-Hoo was right at the bottom among center fielders in baseball. Really? Yeah, I mean, he was no better than 27th in almost all the defensive metrics. Yeah. It was just not a good season for him defensively, and he also did not show, despite the fact that he was told numerous times, like, you're the center fielder, you have to take charge out there. He didn't show that. He did not show that he was going to do that. I hope that he starts to take that on. Kind of taking charge. If he is out in center, he has to. You have to be the voice out there. But he didn't show that last year. So I would like to see him on a corner. I would like to see a big bat, excellent outfield center fielder. I think that is the thing that would make them most improved, is having a big upgrade in center fielder, both from an offensive and defensive standpoint.
Yeah, I thought Jung-Hoo Lee last year, there was times he looked hesitant. There was times he didn't look real aggressive in the outfield, I thought. And I think there's more there. And that was what I wanted to ask you, Susan. Do you think, like we're talking about, well, trade for this guy or see if you can get this guy? I think there's part of the Giants' philosophy is they're looking for internal improvement. They're looking for, like you said, they think Elliott Ramos can become an above average defender because they know the kid, they know how hard he works. Now, that's a little bit of wishful thinking, which you got to be careful with, right? Because wishful thinking can get you in trouble. But I think they feel that way about Jung-Hoo Lee a little bit too, that there's more there defensively, and they know the player and they know how hard the player is willing to work. And I think if they don't necessarily make the big play for a Bellinger or something, I think they feel like these two can raise their level of play defensively to above average. Agree with that?
I don't know. I hope so.
Do you think the Giants feel that way?
I think so. I think that they would be cautiously optimistic, but probably planning for not. I think front offices have to be that way. I think they have to think sort of worst case scenario along with everything else. Yeah. But they need an outfielder. They need another everyday outfielder still. Whether it's a right field or center field, to me, they need one more for sure, for real, everyday big league player. I'm not sure it's Gerard Encarnacion. I'm not sure it's Drew Gilbert. I'm not sure it's either the two new guys. I think that is where you really, really upgrade. Now, look, there are a lot of people that say in this division and with the way the Dodgers are spending and with that Dodgers roster, why would you go and spend a ton when you could, and I feel like we've been saying this year after year, you could spend all this money and finish third or fourth and miss out on the playoffs. Sure, absolutely you could.
I mean, that's the risk. That's the risk every year. Right,
exactly. But this is every season is unique. And to me, when you've got a pretty good core, which I think the Giants do, a core that I think could contend with a couple more good pieces, I think you have to go for it because you just don't know. A couple injuries or some underperformance here and there with any other team, and anybody could. And all you have to do is sneak into the postseason. Giants fans know that better than anybody.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I think the problem is you are now always looking at the Dodgers. Got to catch the Dodgers. That may not happen, but that doesn't mean you can't get into the postseason and have I mean, how many teams in the last 3 or 4 years have we seen a wild card team get to the World Series, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. It happens quite a bit.